You pass this one. The K-fold cross validation, it's used to make sure that the model that is used, that you select, performs well without being biased. So it's easy to do. What you do, you collect your data from the same location where you have your reference monitor. You collect the data, and then the model is tested on that data. The particular robust model that you use, that I say select an open source model, you test it on that data. And then you see the performance, you record the performance, and you don't just stop there. So you repeat K times, as many times as the K. So you repeat that severally, and that will help a lot to give you that, performance that is without bias, because you have repeated it several times. And so you'll be able to get something that is sure. Next slide. So next slide. Next slide. All is still about the correction of just about the performance of your low-cost sensor. So it's still the same thing that we talked about. These are just the regression, correlation factors that is still here. If you have questions after this, you can still ask. Next slide. So standard best practices for low-cost sensors. Actually, nothing yet is endorsed by the government. But we have two precursors to standardization. The US EPA air sensor tools, you can find it on that website. And we also have also the South Coast Air Quality Monitoring Protocol that has established Sensor Performance Evaluation Center. So those two are the ones that we can use for now. So you check those websites and you will see best standards, best practices about co-location, about low-cost sensor deployment. It's a lot of information there on those sites. Next one. So I want to look at the applications in African setting of low-cost sensors. So I'll look at this. Generally, this is purple air. You can see there's a lot of purple air globally everywhere right now. I think this is a particular low-cost sensors that I have seen that is so well, it has a very large network globally. But we don't have much in Africa. No, we have some few in Lagos. And you can see there in Africa, it's still a bit scanty. Can you go down to the next slide? Next slide. Next slide. So next slide here, okay. The equo sensor. Equo is, the representative is here. He will talk for himself. So, but we have a lot of it in Africa. It's really gaining ground, but it's a PM sensor, basically for particulates. It's what we're also using in one of our projects. Next one. So there are some pilot studies that we have in Lagos, in Nigeria, using low-cost sensors. I want to just touch them bit by bit. I mentioned about the air quality egg, which you see there. And we tried something during the lockdown. And we're able to see, is there any way you can increase that chart for me? At a particular place in Lagos called Onike, not far from University of Lagos. So in January 2019, we got this is what we had. Using the air quality egg, we measured NO2, SO2, PM10, PM2.5, and PM1. So these are the values that we had. The January 2019, February, March, and then along the line, we didn't measure, then we measured in December 2019, and that was the last we measured before the COVID set in. And you can see how high it was for several reasons. In the dry season, the harmattan season, the dust is so much. So that's what we had. And then after that, during the lockdown, because it's close to where I stay, I was able to monitor it during the lockdown because people couldn't go out. It was a complete lockdown in Lagos. And so in April, you can see how it went down. And then you see the consistent reduction. So maybe if we had measured immediately, the lockdown started in March, about 20th of March in Lagos. So you could see the reduction, you can see the effect of lockdown on air pollution. Can you go to the next slide? So this is another pilot study we had on the exposure of workers at a busy node to PM 2.5, occupational risk characterization and mitigation measures. I had this work with the University of Manchester, and you can see there where the Zephyr local sensor is mounted just above where I stand there. And then that's the main gate of the University of Lagos. And you enter, passing where I stand, that's the inside of the University of Lagos. Yeah, that's the main gate, takes in. In front of me is the main gate. Behind me there is the inside campus. Can you move the other one? Yes. So this is a Google map showing the University of Lagos main gate. Sorry. Here. So it's around there that we carried out the monitoring. Can you move to the map there? So you can see the size of Nigeria here, and you can see the size of Lagos here, just this little place here. But a lot happening in Lagos that is happening much more than what is happening in the whole country. Even the population, the commercial activities, and several things. This is where all those things are happening, and then this is where we're centering, focusing more on Lagos, because what affects Lagos affects everywhere and even affects the whole globe. So you move to the next slide. No, up. The slide you just, okay. So this is some result that we got here. Can you expand this for me, please? So you can see here, you can also see the effect of the dry season, the harmattan, and so on, and then getting to this time. So on those dates, this is how the result is. But you see the WHO guide here supposed to be 15, and you can see that all of them, everything is above the WHO limit. So yeah, that paper has been published, so you can find it here. So this is another pilot study again. Assessment of the temporal and seasonal variabilities in air pollution and implications for physical activity in Lagos and Yaoundé. This is a project with the University of Cambridge trying to look at the effect of air pollution on people that carry out physical activities. And so this particular one, this is AQ mesh here. And in this section of Lagos that is called Lekki. That is where we had this one. And then we compared, if you want to see more of it, this is the paper, it's already published. So we compared Yaoundé and Lagos. So I only picked just this one to show the harmattan and the other timing. So before that, we had something a bit reasonable. And we're looking at WHO 2015. For WHO 2021, of course, this will not pass. So next slide. So this is the one that we use, Equo device. And I want to talk a bit about this. This is a project that is funded for us by the US Department of State. It's called Clean Air for Healthier Cities, Scaling Up Participatory and Collaborative Monitoring, Modeling, and Evidence-Informed Advocacy Solutions for Improved Air Quality Management in East and West Africa. It involves five countries: Nigeria, Uganda, Burundi, Ghana, and Cameroon. And so the project is ongoing. So we deployed, we have 30 local sensors from Equo. And we also had that BAM to procure, which I showed you before that we've already paid for it. It's still on the way for us to receive. So that is the project that's just showing you now. So during Harmattan, just I think on the 15th of December, a few weeks ago, this is what we had. And you can imagine, look at all those points. The best we could get is the red, and then we had the other ones. You can see the color code there, what it stands for. So everywhere, red is the best, and then the other ones. So that's the effect of Harmattan. At the onset of Harmattan in Lagos, that's what we got for PM 2.5. Can you move it down? And then we try to compare with the US Embassy Air Quality Index of Lagos with other cities. So using that link, you can see. So we checked here, these are the results we got. And you can see the Abuja US Embassy there. You can see the Lagos US Embassy there, 194. And then so we compared, we used the US embassies to compare to see what is happening in different places. Like I told you, we only have the reference monitors in Lagos and Abuja US consulate. So, and you can see the same day that we got, so it's the same day. Here, the result, the data here is the same day with this, and so you can see what is contributing to the very high air quality index in Lagos. So the next, thank you very much.